So here we are at the old spot, just chilling out. Should be one coming up in a minute because it just went down, unless it's ferry bound. Took the day off work today, bit of good mental health treatment. Listen to some funny podcasts, that always helps. So what is it that makes a vitamin a vitamin? Because that old geezer, one of those docs from that What the Health documentary, he was saying, this makes perfect sense of course, that vitamin E I think it is, no, vitamin D, that one absorbs from the sun, that stuff is a hormone. But it's not something you absorb from the sun, your body makes it using sunlight somehow. And it's a hormone. Anyway, so what is it that makes a vitamin a vitamin? What's the official definition? Is it anything that you want to call a vitamin? Because we don't call testosterone a vitamin. We don't call estrogen a vitamin. I don't think we call insulin like growth factor 1 a vitamin. Probably not. So, if anyone knows, I'll be curious. Well, my old skin's not doing so 100%. I've got to do some kind of a fast, I think, to clear my skin up. It's still cucumber season, it's still watermelon season, so I might get a bunch of cucumbers and watermelons. I find they're usually quite good. The watermelon's got the sugar on it, so you can move your body around still. You have to consume an awful lot of it. And the cucumber really keeps you really well hydrated and helps your skin heal up from whatever it has to. And just cutting everything else out for like at least a day, and then trying to not to introduce back too much craziness too fast. Well, it's almost been 5 minutes. And that thing still hasn't come back. Now there's a thing down the bottom there where they offload their empty their tanks. So it could be that they'll stop there, in which case it might be like 15 minutes. Other people who do these observations, they go somewhere else where they can look right down from the top at the site, see the trucks being unloaded. I'm still a bit of a lightweight because I like to keep it so I can come back here every week. It's really good, this thing with the Dropbox for the videos, because it means you can say if I were to go up there with a long distance camera and film them being unloaded, if I were to do that, I wouldn't have to put it up on under my own name. I can just put it in the Dropbox, and then the guys can do with it what they will. They can edit it up and then put it out. I'm still struggling a little bit just with some really dumb basic stuff, but when I'm at work and I've got a date to come here and either watch for trucks or go to a vigil, I don't really like telling my colleagues what I'm doing, because it'd be very hard to deal with their reactions. Here it comes now. Farewell sheepies. Those ones look fairly freshly shorn. Some of the other ones have been coming in quite woolly. Yeah, so it's quite hard sometimes talking to the... I mean, I still haven't mentioned it. This is like my colleague, he's like one of my mates from school as well. And I'll mention it on a video like this because, I mean, in general it's going to be people get to my channel from comments I leave on other places. In general, like, I don't have this channel super linked to my Facebook. It is a little bit, like I linked 1 or 2 videos a long time ago, so any family members who are curious, I'm not sure who's subscribed, but any family members who are curious, even without being subscribed, they could take an eyeball at it now and then, just from that long ago link where I linked my video of me touching around on the guitar. But I quite like to keep it like that, because then there's a bit of separation, because of course a lot of my work friends are on my Facebook, and well, you know, you've got to pick your battles, and there's conversations that aren't worth having. Especially with my friends at work. Oh, that's right. So yeah, it came by. It was like just after 5. It was like 6 minutes later. So I put it at 4:06. It's arrived at 3:39. It's now 10 past 4, 11 past 4, and I've been here that long. 3:39 to 10 past 4. There's been 2 tracks. Oh, there goes that van that just went past down the hill. Those are my colleagues. So I'm hoping they're not eyeballing me up here. Another reason to have a more low-key van, like this one. I'll just show you what it looks like. So you kind of see what I mean. And every time I go past the place, I flash to my cheeky behind. Here's another little bit of the tour while we're about it. This thing here, so freaking handy. I can drive this little angle grinder for a second with it, just off that small battery. There's my normal sized hand next to it, so you can see it is a small battery. I've got 2 of them batteries, that's the same size as my van takes, which is why I've got them, obviously. My favourite logo again. Moment. So yeah, I don't know how much the data would be. Wie viel kosten das Data für Livestream? But I don't think I'll worry about that. I've got my other guitar here today too. I'll just plug this telephone in. Oh, there's another one going down. So it's vid plus 1430. Which is going to be approximately 415. Let's just make it 415. Oh no, 1430 is more accurate. I just want to get an accurate reading on the turnaround time, down to a couple of seconds at least, because it's useful to know what the turnaround time is. Alright. So, I like playing guitar when I'm here. For one thing, it saves annoying my flatmates, because I'm a very practicey guitar player. Like, I do just practice along very similar lines for a very long time, and no matter how good you are, that's always going to be noise pollution after a little while. Good. So there we go, that one. They look a bit fluffier. That's recently shorn. I don't like making a fuss at all when I'm here by myself. I like to keep it just to the observational. As much as possible. The first track that went past wasn't on the video, and it was an interesting one on account of the. There's a little kid sleeping in the front, about 9 years old, hanging out in front. Spending time with this old man, I guess. It's good. It's nice to see. It's nice to see fathers spending time with their kids. No, I'm not being facetious about that either. It's been some time since I've played this guitar through this amp. She's an open watt, 100 watt, open back 100 watt lady. It looks like I might have to be investing in a deep cycle battery. These little ones just aren't really cutting it lately. I think I've kind of cooked them with the way I've used them hard just a few times, and then because they're already too worn out to use as my car battery, I think I've cooked them. So it looks like I might be in the market for a nice big decent deep cycle battery. They're a bit dear. If I can get an old one real cheap, I think I will. Well, in any case, I can play this guitar with no amp. I'm just going to wind up the window. And close the door. Sounds a bit better with the PV. Actually, I prefer this one with the PV. The PV's got far too much bass response for it, but I like the clean bass response. You just got to turn it right down. The clean bass response on it. So it's a funny wee thing. I'll give you a little visual tour of it, of the Diplomat, what I've done to it. I made it some time ago. It's a little bit silly. Well, I guess it's not really silly actually. So there's my little repair. A lot of the subtle sounds which probably aren't coming through in this recording at all, they come through when you play it through a very clean amp. So it's a Japanese model. What I've done here, just get a decent shot of that. You can see the old lines and the new lines, so I've made it into a 5-string. And you can see with this kind of bridge, it gets a nice sound. It's solid brass. Then you can crank it up and down to get an approximate adjustment on your intonation. And then, well, there's another video about this one that I've made, about how I made it with these little buzzy things on it, which honestly the sound's not coming out of it very nice acoustically. As soon as you smack it a bit hard, it stops sounding quite so sweet. Now, I like it as a sweet sounding Gat, and I play it constantly, one setting. Those are on, both of those. 10, 10. I might mess with the tone sometimes, but that's usually on 10 as well. And then the reason why it's a 5-string, of course, is it's one of the machine heads broke, so I just got it tensioned up with a piece of string. And that's the component I might replace. It's an old cowboy nut, and although it is silly to replace it on a lot of levels, I still think I will, just for the feeling. Yeah, emotional based decision really, you know. Yeah, so I've got these little markings put in. They're not just markings, they also make it easier to play certain bar chords. I like having set it up for myself. So playing a little bit flat at the moment. Well, 25 minutes long. Don't really like uploading things too much longer than that because it takes a long time. Look at this guy, he's doing fucking well. Winners. Another winner. Charging up. It's a very big hill. I don't much like riding up this hill. Look at it. But there's quite a few people who do the commute. This camera is doing some interesting software effects there. It's quite good for a cheap cell phone camera. Alright, I'm going to stop this and then I'll just have a little tutoring on the guitar video.